What's up, everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It's a Wednesday afternoon here in Findlay, Ohio. I'm hanging out in the beer shed, so you know what that means. WTF Wednesday. For those of you who may be new to the program, WTF Wednesday is the one day a week when I showcase beers I probably wouldn't drink on the program. Sometimes this means I do stuff from the big boys, Bud Miller and Coors. Sometimes it means I do strange offerings from microbreweries. And today what I have on offer is an international offering. This is Cass, C-A-S-S, Fresh. And this is a brew from South Korea. And it's the Oriental Brewing Company out of Seoul, South Korea. Now, this is one of the few Korean beers that I ever see around anywhere. So I was kind of excited when Anderson picked this up because I don't think I've done a review of a Korean beer, and I don't think I've really seen one in quite a while. I see some of the Japanese beers, I see Sapporo and Asahi and stuff like that, but other Asian beers, I really don't see a whole heck of a lot. So, it's kind of cool to see something like this. This is a adjunct lager, comes in at 4.5% ABV. Ratings-wise, doesn't do particularly good. 2.67 on Untappd, 2.38 on Beer Advocate. Now, it was interesting when you read through Beer Advocate to check out the reviews. Some of them just kind of bash it, say it's not a good beer. But some folks, looks like they're servicemen and women who were stationed in South Korea, talk about drinking this and mixing it with soju. So I guess a lot of them say you take this, pour a shot or two of soju, which looks like it's some kind of rice-based alcohol, said rice spirit. And I guess you throw a couple shots in to up it a little bit because it's only 4.5%, which sounds kind of interesting. If I had some soju, I would try it out next to this to see if it's any better. All right, let's give it a shot. No, not a twist off. I thought it would be, as this is kind of the, it says the best-selling beer in South Korea. So I'm assuming this is going to be, a Korean macro. Let's give it a shot here, see what it looks like. Very light colored. If I'm going to my SRM chart here, we're probably going all the way down the dial. Let's see. We go from 1 to 40, from light to dark. This is crystal clear, light yellow, maybe a 2 if you're lucky. If you're pushing it, a 2, very pale kind of straw, light yellow color. The head actually doesn't look too bad. Probably got about a finger and a half worth of head there. Carbonation is going nuts. Ton of bubbles inside of this. Head doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's still hanging about. It's a little soapy looking, but it's hanging around. Let's give it a sniff. Not a whole lot going on there. You get kind of a little bit of a sweet adjunct kind of smell. Maybe slightly grassy. I mean, this smells like most American macros. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Let's go in for the kill. Light bodied. You can feel the carbonation. The carbonation is actually kind of a little annoying. So when you drink it, it's almost like a soda, like with all the bubbles, kind of distracts you a wee bit. Light biscuit malt, little bit of adjunct sweetness. I will say this, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. When I realized it's kind of an adjunct lager, I expected that kind of adjunct sweetness that I'm not a huge fan of. And you did pick it up in the smell, and you get a bit of it, but it's not super bad. I mean, it's kind of there. Now, the one thing I will say this probably does better than some of the American macros, the lighter macros, is you do get a little bit of a hops bite at the end there. It's not strong by any stretch of the imagination, but you do at least know that there's hops somewhere in the beer because you pick it up at the tail end, where I think if I were to drink like a Coors Light or even a Coors Banquet, I don't think you really get that. Or if you drink an MGD, the hops is kind of completely missing. So this is kind of like a slightly better version of a Coors Light, but with maybe a hoppy finish. Probably not something that I would drink again. Now, I saw people saying if it's a hot day and you're in an Asian country, this is all you have. Hey, I agree with you. We all have those kind of beers. You're on vacation, you try them. They're a little sentimental. I had Belikin when I was down in Belize. I have Peya when I go to Kosovo. They're definitely not world-class beers, but they hit the spot when you're somewhere, where that's what the locals are drinking and it's a warm day and you enjoy them. There's nothing wrong with that. And I can imagine this being in that same category. But it's not something that I would regularly pick up, short of being in South Korea and really not having a lot of other options. So Cass, unfortunately, Cass Fresh, you would get a thumbs down. I wouldn't be drinking another one of these. Like I said, slightly better than some of the other adjuncts, the American ones, but not enough that it would make it into the regular rotation there. Hopefully you liked the video and don't want to give me a thumbs down. If you can, give me a thumbs up, hit that like button. If you'd like to see more videos, please hit subscribe and check out my playlist down below. And as always, you got any comments or questions, hop in. Have you ever had Cass Fresh or any other South Korean beers? Can't say that I've had a whole lot. I'm interested to see what other ones are out there and what people think of them. Hey, till next time, cheers.